Congress has had a major to-do, or does have a major to-do list today. They have a midnight deadline to pass a spending bill and avoid a government shutdown, which partially hinges on a $900 billion relief package lawmakers had hoped to attach to that bill. While the broader outline of that deal seems to be coming together, how soon it can pass both chambers and get critical aid to Americans still remains uncertain. Joining me now is Democratic Senator and Minority Whip Dick Durbin of Illinois. So it seemed like, Senator, that this was all smooth sailing, that this was going to get passed quickly. There was an agreement. And now there's this hitch about the Federal Reserve and some of the money that was left over from the CARES Act. What exactly is going on?
Katie, what's going on is Washington is at its worst. After I joined a group of 8 senators, 4 Democrats and 4 Republicans, we put together a proposal, introduced it Tuesday. We picked up momentum. The leaders were meeting. The White House was meeting. And then came one of the senators from Pennsylvania, Republican senator, who says, I want to introduce into this conversation a question about whether or not the Federal Reserve should have the opportunity and authority to deal with emergencies in the future. And the process stopped. Think about that. The millions of Americans that are waiting for their unemployment insurance, the thousands of companies, maybe millions of companies that are looking for help to stay alive. And we're going to stop and debate at length a policy of the Federal Reserve. Give me a break. Let's do the right thing for the people across America. Save this debate for another day.
This is just one Republican that has this concern. Are other Republicans holding it as well? Is he getting backing? Is that why this has hit this snag?
The Senate is designed for one person to stop the train. And he knows it. I hope that I've spoken to some of the Republican senators who disagree with him privately and are trying to urge him to save this fight for another day. Here's the bottom line. We don't know what the future holds. We hope we've turned the corner. But with these terrible numbers coming in with COVID-19, with the economy still having almost 900,000 new applications for unemployment insurance, we want to give the Federal Reserve an emergency fund, which they can use if situations require it under the new president. This Mr. Toomey is suggesting we shouldn't give that to the Federal Reserve, take it away from them, and take away the authority to help in an emergency.
Are you confident that something's going to get passed? I know Nancy Pelosi was already delayed her news conference today from this morning to 2 o'clock. It's been delayed indefinitely, not a good sign for COVID relief. I know Mitch McConnell had said that they were willing to work through the weekend to get this done. Is this going to happen?
I think it will. I have a positive feeling about this. We've shown great momentum. We have bipartisanship here. If the Republican Party stops this bill at this moment, what a serious mistake that is for this country.
Let's talk about this massive hack on a number of government agencies, including national security agencies. The president hasn't said anything about it. What do you know about what we are doing right now to fortify ourselves and to figure out exactly what happened?
Every day is a new revelation, and none of it is encouraging. We believe we know that the Russians were behind it. It follows their pattern of conduct. We believe that it started in March after we had spent billions, literally billions of dollars to protect our own intelligence and our own cyber network itself from this kind of attack. And now every day unrolls another chapter that suggests that another agency has been compromised in some way. Once we know it's been compromised, we have to go to the depth of this compromise and understand how much information they could have gleaned from these files. But understand this information is critical to our national security. We spend the Treasury, people and taxpayers who invested on making certain that America is safe, and we spend a lot of money to do it. And in the flash of a hard drive, the Russians have moved in and compromised that information. It is troubling. And what is equally troubling is the silence of the White House. For goodness sakes, the President of the United States should be speaking out forcefully, first against the Russians and Putin for doing it, and second, demanding to know the bottom line here as to the nature of this compromise and how far it went.
When we talk about compromising national security, can you be a little bit more specific, more detailed? What exactly are we at risk of right now?
Well, I can't be more specific. A lot of this information is classified, and a lot of it has not been given to me. But I know the press reports suggest that some of the information that we've gathered, critical information, planning for the defense of the United States, could have been compromised. I don't want to go any further because I want to make certain that we know in detail. But the number of agencies touched by this hacking is growing by the day, and it's alarming.
Do you see this as an act of war?
Well, it's a virtual invasion of the United States. I'm not calling for war and troops at the border or anything of that nature. But we need a president of the United States who's not afraid to call Vladimir Putin and say enough. We have put up with your interference in the 2016 election. We know that you're continuing this hacking and intrusion into America's cybersecurity. And now we see one of the most serious ones in history taking place, and it's got your fingerprints all over it. Any other president of either political party would take this seriously. I'm not sure.
Is saying enough? I mean, does Congress have plans to do more sanctions, more than sanctions? I mean, as egregious as it sounds, and the list of agencies that were infiltrated is pretty shocking, and national security is at risk. I mean, what do you do about it?
Well, you certainly start with the president who's not afraid to say to the American people, I'm going to defend this nation. I don't care who is threatening us, whether it's Vladimir Putin or anyone else. If it's a threat to the security of this nation, we're going to stand up and fight.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.